to Left Back in the Changing Room.
Hey!
Well, hey, a very big welcome, listeners. We're back, season 2020-2021 on air.
Hey!
I remember when we first started the poddy, and I said to Ricky Pellegrini, if you come back for 2 weeks, you've made it big. We're here for season 2, chaps. We must
It's happening. It's official.
Huge.
Bigger and better.
TV soon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. It is, of course, Jimmy Ferguson here, your lovable host. I'm joined by the Likely lads. Good turnout today for the pre-season show. First up, it's the man full of ham. It's Patrick Vieira.
Hello. Nice to be back.
And how are you, mate? That's your team name, just for listeners, Full of Ham, a Fulham support. I like what you've done with your team name. Talk us through it.
Well, really, it's taking my favourite team, which is Fulham, and then putting of in between it to make Full of Ham. It's quite ingenious, I know.
I thought so too, mate. It took me a while to work out what you've done, so just thanks for walking through that. Excellent stuff. We've also got Ricky Jackie Daniels Pellegrini. There he is with his Jack Daniels cup of coffee. How are you, Ricky?
Well, hey, not too bad, Jimmy. I'm excited for the new season, mate. All this UEFA Nations League is a little bit boring, so I'm looking for some real football at the weekend.
Oh, yeah, it's been really dire, hasn't it, Matt?
Yeah,
not Man
and
United.
talking about the team, mate. I mean, we're going to talk about it, but there's a lot of questions to be answered about GameWeek 1, I would say. So I've been spending a lot of time trying to fine-tune the team, but
and England
interesting.
suffering a bit of a COVID hangover, 0-0 with Denmark, and literally just got over the line against Iceland. I mean, baby Raheem.
That's it. Baby Raheem came to the rescue, and they missed the penalty at the other end, literally like 90 seconds later or so. So yeah, dire football there. So yeah, we're looking forward to some real football back in action. A shame Messi is not going to be in the Premier League, but we'll get over it.
Well, what's happened on that subject whilst we're there?
Oh, mate, yeah, he's staying at Barcelona, long story short.
We just knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, big letdown, massive letdown. Got us all happy, all excited, but Man City...
It was obvious, really, wasn't it? It was almost as obvious as when Novak Djokovic dropped that tennis ball and swung, and you could just see it's going for that woman's jugular. Poor woman. I feel for her. Lots of money coming her way. So, Ricky Pellegrini, you were our champion last season. Congratulations once again.
Thank
Captain
you,
Russ, he's in from LA. He's been on holiday. He's been chilling in the French Riviera with his boat, trying to get the tips to take Pellers this season. Hey, Captain, how are you feeling about that?
You see, I'm keeping my cards close to my chest. Well, second, the first season we kicked off, and then third. So I don't know.
Dropping
up or down, isn't it? We'll see. It's going to be interesting, though. I'm looking forward to it. Excited to kick off the season. It's not been such a long wait either, which has been awesome. So,
it is refreshing. Yeah, you can put all of your wrongs right from last season. So I know myself and Vieira are, really looking forward to this.
And
it's time to flip the league round.
And it's going to be with all at the moment it's really exciting because the obviously transfer window is not closed yet, so there's still a lot of changes in teams and things and players moving around. Even today, or yesterday, you've got Callum Wilson and Fraser that moved from Bournemouth to Newcastle. So that was
a bit of business there from Steve Bruce.
Yes,
very nice. And, okay, so finally, ladies and gents, he's been waiting patiently. He now goes last because Liverpool won the league. So it's none other than NVD, who was last season. NVD, 4 above you, 4 below you. How's it going? How's Europa League treating you?
Mate, Europa League, Channel 5, it's great, mate. It's the place to be. But all to play for this season. Let's see if I can break into a little bit of Sky Sports and BT Sport. Old Channel 5 and Stan Collymore, if I'm perfectly honest. So
you feeling confident, mate? You think you'll be up there?
All to play for, mate. I've got to be confident.
Going in confident. He's going.
Well, they'll end up in 7th.
Question: have you done your team yet for the season?
I've done the auto select.
That counts. That's what I've done. I'm in.
But I'm still working on it. I'm still percolating.
I'm just trying to find the time. But there you go, ladies and gents. Then, so in terms of timing, you need to get your team in and ready by 11 in the UK, right?
11 UK, yeah.
Okay, so if you're in New York, you need to make sure you're getting that done by 6 o'clock, lads. Mountain time, which would be Salt Lake City. That was something I learned, a new time zone there. That will be 5 a.m. And if you're like captain in LA, toasting on your boat, 3 a.m. So you'll be fine, captain. You'll be awake. You'll be drunk by then.
I'm making toast on the boat.
So there you go, ladies and gents. Make sure you do not miss that deadline. That's it. You want to set yourself up this season. Try and kick it off on the right foot, and they are the dates. So 11 a.m. in the UK. Okay, excellent. So listeners, what we've got for you today, really jam-packed show. Looking forward to this one. It is the pre-season kickoff show. Each of us pundits have taken an in-depth look at a few of the different teams in the league. We're going to cover every single team fairly quickly. What we're going to talk to you guys about are how they've been doing in their pre-season friendlies. What transfers have they got in? How did these guys do last season for the teams that are coming up? Is there any value in the teams? What players should you be looking at? Where can you get a bargain? And really, who are the stalwarts that you should certainly keep in your team? So we'll be doing that part one. Part two of the show is our new segment where the LeftBack FPL team, so we have entered a collective podcast team. So the poddy team this year, the LeftBack FPL team, will be going into a league to take on other podcast owners and dominate it, I should say, and win it, obviously, with Pellers at the helm. No pressure, Pellers, but every single week, one of our pundits will be the manager of that team, and they'll have suggestions from the rest of us as to who to pull in and who to take out. Be one transfer a week, of course. And when we decide to use the triple captain or any of the tokens, that will be a debate. There has to be a lot of discussion about that. You can't go sneakily just hitting the triple captain, lads. I can already see some smiles. Everyone's wanting to hit it already.
Trigger happy.
Okay, listeners, all that said, there is a lot to cover. So thank you again for being with us. We're really excited for this, and Ricky Pellegrini is going to kick us off. He's been doing an in-depth look at Arsenal. So Ricky, what have you got for the fans?
Yeah, so with Arsenal, they've had an interesting pre-season. We all know about the Community Shield win, jammy albeit, over the champions Liverpool. But one player that stood out is Nketiah. I know one of your favourites, Jimmy, from last season. And he stood out. He scored a hat-trick for the under-21s for England in a recent game here. And he seems to be getting in the first team for Arteta. So ever since Arteta's come in, he's in that first starting 11. With Aubameyang switching from the striker's role to the midfield role, Nketiah is in that position, battling out with Lacazette. So a cheap option as well, with only 6 million. So I'll definitely recommend him. And then obviously just to round that out, Aubameyang is obviously going to be at the top of everyone's mind. Being Fulham away is the first game. We know Aubameyang does well against all those lower teams. Always scores against the low team, not so much with the higher teams. And he switched from forward position to midfield. He's going to get that extra point every time he scores a goal. So I'll go. Those two are mine from Arsenal.
Excellent, Pellers. That was well under your 2-minute limit. You still got 50 seconds. You want anything else there defensively?
No, that's all right.
Move on, Jimmy.
Moving on.
Moving on.
I presume you've mentioned no defenders because you don't trust Arsenal at the back.
Don't trust Arsenal. No, Leno could be an interesting one, but yeah, just too hot and cold with Arsenal. Let's see how the season begins.
Great stuff. Thank you, Pellers. Aston Villa, I believe. NVD, you've taken these. 2-minute limit. Go.
Yeah. Well, finished 17th last season. They looked good after the restart, winning 2, drawing 2, and lost one in their 5 games. They beat Wycombe Wanderers 5-2 in pre-season. Anwar El Ghazi looked really sharp for them, to be honest, and he bagged a brace in that game. They got a difficult start, to be honest, against Sheffield United. Then they go to Fulham. Then they got Liverpool, Leicester, Leeds, Southampton. So not the best starts. Naturally, everyone's going to be looking at Jack Grealish. He's 7 million, 149 points. Good, solid midfield option, to be honest. But that's all on whether he stays and he's there come the start of the next season for Villa. And other than that, to be honest, if you are looking at other differentials for Villa, I'd look at John McGinn. Didn't have a full season, but he's 5.5 million, 84 points. Otherwise, look to El Ghazi. He's around the same price. He's actually 6 million. He scored 93 points. And other than that, really, there's Trezeguet, who's 5.5. So they're on the same price as John McGinn. So yeah, I think kind of, to be honest, unless Grealish stays, he's probably the only person you're going to have in the team. If you really want a differential or cheap option, then sure, I'd say look at John McGinn. Otherwise, to be honest, Villa, I think, are going to struggle again this season. So you might want to steer clear, at least for the first couple of games of the new season for Villa players for FPL managers.
Perfect. Thank you for that, NVD. Some good insight. So you think Villa might go down, or you think they're going to stay up?
I think they're going to go down, and the nail's in the coffin if Grealish goes before the transfer window ends.
Oh, there's your 2-minute limit gone. Okay, thanks for that, NVD. Moving on to Brighton and Hove Albion. I took a look at Brighton and Hove. Someone better start the timer here, because I could go on all day.
I've got you.
I do digress. They're really little bit.
You got a minute and a half left.
Okay, fantastic. So, I mean, I ain't got much to say about Brighton. They've had a couple of games pre-season. 1-1 draw with Chelsea, not a bad result for them. And a 0-0 with West Brom, which is a bit disappointing. So, defensively, haven't let too many in pre-season, but I think we all know from last season that defensively they're potentially not the best. So I wouldn't really personally be going looking at them defensively. So they, have signed a couple of players this season that look pretty decent. Adam Lallana and Joel Veltman, both of them come in. Joel from Ajax, he's a defender, and obviously Adam Lallana, he's come in from Liverpool on the free. Good player, in my opinion, really good piece of business. Lewis Dunk is one I'd say, if you're looking at a defender, always good. Gets a few goals as well, chips in there with those. So for me, Brighton, Lewis Dunk, maybe more pay from last season, their top goal scorer, they'd be the two. And then Lallana and this lad Veltman might be worth a look. But as I said, from pre-season, 0-0 with West Brom, couldn't take much from that. 1-1 from the game with Chelsea. And Brighton, just to give you final lowdown of Brighton, their starting fixtures are very tough. So the first sort of 5 games, you're looking at Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United, Everton and Crystal Palace. So tough one for Brighton. Probably steer clear of them. And with that said, I've still got 2 seconds left, Captain.
Do you think they'll stay up, Jimmy?
Do I think they'll stay up? No, I think they're lucky to stay up last season, mate. And this time,
I agree.
This time I think they'll go. But that said, you've got to have 3 teams that are better than them. And with teams coming up, always a chance. Anyhow, I could go on about that for ages, Pellers, but I've been told I've got to move on. 2 minutes on Burnley, in-depth look at Burnley. NVD, I believe you were looking at Burnley for us.
Yep, so Burnley, pretty much, finished pretty decent really for last season in 10th position. They won 1-2, drew 2, lost 1 in their last 5 games of the season. They've had a decent pre-season. They've won most of their games, to be honest, and smashed a couple of teams. They smashed Nice, who were in the French League 1, 6-1. To be honest, the standout players for them, we all know about Nick Pope. They had a solid defence, to be honest, last season, Burnley. But Nick Pope, standout goalkeeper in many FPL managers' teams. He's 5.5 million this season. He got 170 points last season. If you're looking at defenders, you got Tarkowski, 5.5 million. He got 143 points last season. He's a solid option, although potentially may not be at Burnley because he's the subject of a bid from West Ham.